welcome. In other news, stocks continue to fall as investors sell shares and run to hide in their small, smelly caves. The Dow hit a 5-year low on November 20th with a value of an insufficient $7,552 per share. That is quite significant, is it not, Burgundy?
'Tis. In other news, / period, comma, colon, apostrophe, end quote, hyphen equals recession.
Super interesting. Burgundy, so the GDP is declining, is it? Yes, I thought as much.
Yes, I as well. The GDP declined 0.1% in the third quarter of 2008 and is expected to decline furthermore in the coming quarter.
Indeed. In other news, we now go live to Mike Roch in Beaver Lick, Kentucky.
Enticing.
We now go live to Mike Roch in Beaver Lick, Kentucky.
In other news, I'm here with Kylie and her husband, Kylie. Yes, Kylie. So, Bigfoot, how are you and your wife coping with the current economic unemployment situation?
Oh, yes, it's getting rough. We're currently living off small rodents and moss.
Interesting. With the current unemployment rate at a mind-numbing perspective change and the mind rearranging 6.7%, it's couples like Bigfoot and Kylie that are hit the hardest. Now back to the KNKY News Studio with Ron Burgundy and Burgundy Ron.
Interesting. In other news, we go to Will Power with the I Morse code joke of the day and the Spanish definition of the day.
El desempleo, el estado de estar parado, percepción extrasensorial involuntariamente. Back to you.
Fantastically fantastic, Will. You just earned yourself one more day on the KNKY News team. Congratulations.
Inspirational. In other news, that's all for tonight.
In other news, tune in tomorrow night for your update on the French minister's trip to Uranus.
Excellent. In other news, I'm Ron Burgundy.
And I'm Burgundy Ron. And in other news, you stay classy, Burnsville.
Good afternoon, Minnesota. Welcome to the Burnsville High School News Crew, where we just call it as we see it. Because there have been so many job losses, the unemployment rate, which was standing at 6.5% in October, has risen to a high of 6.7%, making it the highest unemployment rate since October of 1993. Here's Michelle Coe with more details on the unemployment and an up-close interview with one of the many jobless individuals in Minnesota. Live reporting from the streets of Minneapolis, Michelle?
Thank you, Kenzie, and thank you for that wonderful intro. The Department of Labor recently announced that 533,000 jobs were shed in November, making the largest monthly job loss since December 1974, leaving a total number of job loss now standing at 1.9 million. Michigan, Indiana, Iowa, New York, and South Carolina are running out of funds from unemployment benefits. These states may have no choice but to increase taxes on employers, cut benefits for laid-off workers, or borrow cash. If they don't do anything, unemployment continues to increase, and our fellow Americans will most likely fall in poverty. They'll have to decide to have good support to make it through the crisis. I'm here with one of the many jobless individuals in the state of Minneapolis, and also recently homeless, Anita Plummer. So, Anita, what was your job?
I worked at McDonald's.
Okay. And how did you lose your job?
I fell asleep a lot while I was working in the back, and I was caught stealing food once.
Oh, what made you do that?
Well, I was tired and hungry from staying up all night.
Okay, so have you ever tried looking for another job, Anita?
Yeah, I've been trying to find a job for a few months.
How's your job hunt doing?
No one will hire me yet.
Well,
I never graduated from high school, and no one thinks I can do the work.
well, good luck with that. And we all know that it's difficult with these times to find a job, especially with the incomplete education. So that is Minneapolis homeless and unemployment, Anita Plummer. Thank you, Anita. Now let's hear about the recent news about the stimulus plan from Krista White, reporting from Minneapolis. This is Michelle Coe. Krista?
Thank you, Michelle. Now in other news, the economic stimulus plan is what everyone is talking about. President-elect Barack Obama faces an extreme challenge. He wants to toughen the nation with an immense economic stimulus package that is based on transportation, green energy, and communication. Much of the money spent in these sectors doesn't go to less skilled workers, which is who he wants to help. But improving the education system is unlikely to provide work for the large numbers of high school dropouts. Many of the jobs in areas like clean energy and building communication lines require specific skills that are rare among out-of-work high school dropouts. The main issue is that productivity is tied to education. By funding education, the government can reduce unemployment levels now and raise American productivity in the long run. Saying that the U.S. economy was likely to get worse before it gets better, President-elect Barack Obama in a recent interview vowed to follow a recovery plan equal to the task ahead. The President-elect also repeated his pledge to give tax cuts to 95% of Americans. He stated, "I am absolutely confident that if we take the right steps over the coming months, not only can we get the economy back on track, but we can emerge leaner, meaner, and ultimately more competitive and more prosperous." He has a lot to do in these coming years. Now turning to the issue of poverty, I am here with Barb Dwyer from Minnesota Community Action Partnership, a local organization created to help fight for families in need. So Barb, tell us a bit about what is going on with the poverty issues that the country is facing.
Well, Krista, we are slowly seeing the American dream slipping away as a result of the country's growing economic inequality. It is estimated that 36.5 million families in the United States are living in poverty.
What about the gap between the rich and the poor? How has that changed?
The gap between the rich and the poor has changed dramatically, widened in the past 20 years. In the U.S., the richest 10% of the average are making $93,000, while the poorest 10% are making an average of $5,800. The wealthy families, who are usually the ones who are saving the most, don't feel the need to save as often as anymore because they're soaring net worth.
What about Barack Obama? What are his plans on the country's poverty issues?
Barack Obama is currently working towards a plan to help his countries overcome poverty. Obama's plan includes reintroducing the Responsible Fatherhood and Healthy Families Act to crack down on men avoiding child support payments because since 1960, the number of American children without fathers in their lives has quadrupled from 6 million to now 24 million. It is shown that the children without fathers are 5 times more likely to end up in poverty and commit crimes and 20 times more likely to end up in prison.
Thank you, Barb.
No problem.
Well, there you have it. This has been Krista White with the latest economic news. Back to you, Michelle.
Thank you, Krista. And that's all you need to know about our economy. Thanks for watching. This is Michelle Coe, reporting from the Burnsville News Crew, where we call it as we see it. Keep watching for the stimulus economic updates.
Hello and good morning, Minnesota. Broadcasting the news today, we have my colleague, Nicole Bunce, and me, Rachel Omott. I'll hand it over to you first, Nicole.
Thanks, Rachel. Lately, you've been hearing a lot about our economy and its current condition. First and foremost, we are currently in a recession, which is an economic slowdown in which GDP does not grow. We officially entered this recession in December 2007. Ever since that month, the economy has been declining. Experts say this is the third longest recession since the Great Depression.
President-elect Barack Obama has many plans to save our nation's economy. He proposed a government stimulus plan, which in turn creates jobs with infrastructure, which is building and repairing roads, bridges, and other ways of transportation. Obama says this will restart the economy and stabilize the job market.
David Axelrod, Obama's chief campaign strategist, states, "The main thing right now is to get this economic recovery package on the road, to get this money in the pockets of the middle class, and to get these projects going, to get America working again."
The government stimulus plan will help our nation's outstanding unemployment rate, which is currently 6.7%. 533,000 jobs have been lost in November, and unemployment increased by 2.2% since then.
This has been the largest decline since December 1974. The total loss of jobs has reached 1.9 million, and it doesn't seem to be getting better anytime soon.
Thank you, Nicole. Sounds like we have a lot of issues to resolve. All right, Minnesota, that was your economic news update. Thank you and have a pleasant day.